Hello, everybody. So glad you could be here with me. We're going to spend a little time talking about pets and natural wellness. And just grab some note paper and a pen and just sit back and we'll talk about this in a little depth. And I'm so glad you can join us. So, we're going to be discussing various topics such as dog food, essential oils that promote better digestion and support discomfort in joints and muscles, what to look for in a dog groomer. My niece Amber is a vet tech and a dog groomer, and we collaborated a little bit on the non essential oil topics that we're going to be discussing. So let's go ahead and get started. Caroline Ingram began exclusively studying the use of essential oils alongside veterinarians and developed this really incredible, safe, effective method that's known nowadays as applied, here we go, applied zoopharmacognosy. And that is split up translation of the Greek word zoa meaning animals, pharma meaning medicine, and cognosy meaning knowledge. So this method states that animals have a innate ability to detect therapeutic constituents in plants, and they seem to know what they need for their health. And that is a really cool thing. First of all, animals are smart and a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And they also have a very keen sense of smell. And because of that, they can pick up on the things within plants that are good for them, that help them so that they can pretty much self-medicate. I found some examples of some different animals that use this type of zoopharmacognosy. Some lizards are believed to respond to a bite by a venomous snake by eating a certain root to counter the venom. Fruit flies lay eggs in plants containing high ethanol levels when they detect parasitoid wasps, and that's a way for them to protect their offspring. Red and green macaws, along with many other animals, eat clay to aid digestion and kill bacteria. And pregnant elephants in Kenya eat leaves of certain trees to help induce their delivery. So it's pretty interesting what these animals do and how smart they are. So let's talk a little bit about essential oils for those of you that aren't too familiar with them. They are considered secondary metabolites that are produced by plants as part of their health and defense system. So a secondary metabolite would be something like protection, competition, and species interaction. Those things are not essential to a plant's survival, but the plant would definitely suffer without them. Those secondary metabolites are something that we can use, though, and they're very beneficial for us. And when we inhale, we absorb those essential oils and their evaporating constituents into the brain. And when we breathe that in, those aromas go to the limbic portion of the brain, where our memories and our emotions and some of the regulatory functions of our body reside. And these oils can work simultaneously between the physical side and the emotional side. So we as humans and for pets can receive great benefits from that. My phone is making all kinds of noises. Sorry about that. It never does unless I'm doing something like this. So I had mentioned zoopharmacognosy. So that method is, again, the animal's innate ability to know what they need for their health. And when you work with essential oils, we have to let this natural instinct of the animal to be able to choose what type of products that they prefer. The method is really safe and effective, and it's simple, and it also strengthens the bond between you and your pet. So you will just allow the animal to choose by keeping the lid on the bottle. So if you have, you'll need to first of all crack the seal, but after that you can screw the bottle tight and put it down on the ground, or even hold it in your hand. You can set several of them on the ground and just allow your pet to go around and smell them. There are signs, of course, of their choices or ones that they might feel more favorable towards, which would be prolonged sniffing or any kind of an interest or even licking the bottle would indicate that that's an oil that they would tolerate and they would use. And a negative choice would be something like just completely ignoring it, barely giving it a sniff, or actual avoidance. They won't even go near it. And we all know that we should not force any kind of a product on an animal because it will give them stress. Now, horses and dogs and cats may have a different approach in how they receive an oil, how it resonates with them. So horses tend to respond very well to essential oils because they're herbivores and they have a metabolic pathways that can break down most of the oils. They also tend to prefer that inhalation and licking methods. And dogs are the same way. Inhalation and licking is a good way for you to know that they really like that oil. Now, cats don't have metabolic pathways to break down most of their essential oils. So the essential oils can still be safe for them, but you have to be sure to let cats choose their own oils. They're even more discerning than dogs are. So that means your cat will definitely tell you what they want. I mean, they're pretty good at that, right? But if you have any concerns about that, make sure that you talk with your veterinarian. So, because animals have lots of hair follicles, they have an increased rate and amount of absorption. So, it's really important to make sure that you're diluting essential oils with carrier oil when you put it on the pet. And you always want to err on the cautious side. Cats' carrier oil dilution should be about 8 drops of carrier oil to 1 drop of essential oil. Dogs under 24 pounds, about 5 drops of carrier oil to 1 drop of essential oil. But you can always dilute further in the beginning and just see how your pet responds to that. It's really important more than anything is to listen to your animal while you're diffusing or using the oils on yourself and your pets might be around. You want to always make sure that there's a way for them to leave. Cats generally won't stick around if there's something going on that they don't like. So, but with all this hype that's been going on lately about essential oils in cats, I understand that people are very sensitive and cautious, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're that way. But the 3 most important qualities or most important rules of being cautious is to check the quality of the oil because not all oils are equal. Also letting your pet choose and then providing a way out for them. Now, I use Young Living. I've done my homework, and Young Living has proved to me time and time again that they are the purest of essential oils. Young Living has what they call their seed to seal promise, and it is not only a promise, it is a guarantee. So they abide by very strict guidelines to fulfill that promise to send these pure products to your home. Some of the highlights of that is their farms and partner farms also abide by these strict standards, and they select the strongest seeds from the strong, thriving plants. They hand weed their own and use their own oils on the plants for pest control, and that allows them to avoid the use of toxic chemicals. They always harvest at peak times to ensure that the oils all the constituents are in there that make it therapeutic, and they distill on site without any chemicals. They test every batch, and if that batch doesn't meet up to their stringent standards, they throw it away. They will not bottle it. And that's a big thing to me because if I'm putting it on my body, I'm breathing it in, or I'm ingesting it, I want to make sure it's 100% pure. So all of those factors do make a huge difference in quality and effectiveness. And if you want any more information about that, you can go to seedtoseal.com and explore around there and get some more detailed information. Okay, let's talk about some specific essential oils then for pets. So first one is lavender. Lavender is pretty much everybody is accustomed to that. It is one of those versatile oils that people actually say it's the Swiss Army knife of oils because it can be used for so many things. There's a saying that says if you don't know what oil to choose, pick lavender, and it'll probably be helpful for whatever well, this issue that you're struggling with. So lavender is a very calming oil, and it can be calming for pets as well as calming for adults too. This little recipe here for a soothing skin gel recipe is really a wonderful uh, natural thing for you to be able to use to soothe any skin issues on your pet. You can put it on the underbelly or any sensitive areas wherever it's needed. And it's really great in case the event that your dog gets brush burns from brushing out mats. This will be very soothing and calming to their skin. And since we're talking about lavender being a calming oil, I wanted to bring issues of anxiety that may be as a result of separation or um, vet and groomer visits, or even thunderstorms and fireworks and things like that. A lot of people, because they hate seeing their pets suffer under those kinds of conditions, they will have a vet administer a medication called ace promazine, or they call it ACE for short. And I had come across a couple articles, and after talking with my niece about this too, she said it was administered a lot when she was a vet tech. And I think since then that they've come out with a couple other medications that aren't like this. But I wanted to bring this to your attention in the event that this is a medication that you have used for your pets in the past when you see them struggling with issues of severe anxiety. So Dr. Jason Nicholas, I'm going to read just a couple paragraphs from him. Well, actually, a paragraph. He wrote an article called "Scaredy Cats and Frightened Fidos." His name is Jason Nicholas. He says that acepromazine does little to nothing to help mitigate the fear and anxiety that these pets experience from fireworks and thunderstorms. What it does do, though, and do well, is make them unable to move and or exhibit any of the other outward signs of fear and anxiety. ACE is kind of like a chemical straitjacket in these instances. And then Dr. Terry Kelly says the dog or cat appears calm and relaxed, but mentally is lucid and still having an intense emotional reaction to the surroundings. ACE is a dissociative agent and prevents the patient from understanding his environment in a logical manner. So the actual fear level of the animal is increased. And that is just so sad to think that that poor animal is there pretty much paralyzed and still with this extreme fear going on, and they can't do anything about it. They can't express it. They can't run away from it. So it is even more heightened. So we want to stay away from things like that with our pets. We want, we don't like seeing them be anxious like that, and we want to find ways to help them. But in this instance, that's not much of a help if it's causing them to be more agitated and more frightened. Now, drug-free ways to help your pets over, phobias or issues of anxiety are going to take a lot of work. It's not like you can just, for the most part, just give them an oil and they're going to be fine. There's usually this regimen that you have to go through as far as positive association with the oil. So you find an oil like, and I have several of them listed on here: Stress Away, Tranquil, Rutavala, Roman Chamomile, Valor, and then the Animal Sense line that Young Living carries has one called Tea Away or Trauma Away. You have to first, when using these oils, give it a positive association. So whenever this oil is diffused around the pet, it needs to be in a happy environment. The pet needs to be thinking happy thoughts at the time. So let's just say that you diffuse during a family time when everybody's winding down. It could be watching a show or playing a game or just talking amongst the family while the diffuser's going and the pet is in the middle of all this being petted and played with. It could be times when you could turn on the diffuser right when it's feeding time or when it's snack time. Anything that is a happy, positive response, you want to have that diffuser going, or have the oils on your hand nearby the pet when you're playing with them or petting them. Then you can start diffusing maybe 10 or 15 minutes before you leave the house. And separation won't be quite as difficult for the pet because they are associating anything that happens while this fragrance is going on is a good thing. And so they'll start associating happy feelings when that particular essential oil is diffused. They smell it. So I mentioned several of these oils, the tea away, stress away, tranquil, rutavala. Tranquil and rutavala are roll-ons. They're already pre-diluted. Roman chamomile is currently out of stock, but it is also another good one to keep your eye out for when it comes back in stock. And Valor. Valor is a wonderful oil blend that promotes courage, and a lot of families that have autistic children really, really love this oil because it's very helpful, very grounding and soothing, and promotes confidence. And it can do the same thing for your pets too. Okay, so now we're going to look at a recipe here. It's a DIY collar for dogs, and it can be interchangeable as both a calming, just like people wear diffuser bracelets or diffuser necklaces, this can be a diffuser collar for your dog. You can soak it in these oils. The frankincense, I would say that on this ingredients list, I would also add 2 drops of frankincense to that. But the cedarwood, the frankincense are all very grounding and calming, frankincense especially, and it's also soothing to the skin. Geranium with some citronella, both of those are really good for as an outdoor oil for any type of annoyances, outdoor annoyances that might be coming around the pet. Geranium supports healthy skin, but it also helps with grounding and balancing. And one thing you'll have to make sure you remember is that your dog or your cat has to approve of these oils before you put them in a bowl and soak their collar in them. So make sure that the animal likes the oils that you're going to be using. And if you have this many variety of oils, you can just set them out on the floor, evenly spaced from each other, and let them smell them, and then you can determine which one they like the best, and you can use those instead. Well, now would probably be a good time to talk about groomer visits, because this is another area of anxiety, right? And I know, again, speaking with my niece, she says that a lot of times people see their pet having such a difficult time going to the groomers that the parent says, well, I'm not going to take them back that often. I'll only go a couple times a year if I, just because I don't want them to be upset. And she says that's almost causes more problems than helps to do it that way, because the more you familiarize yourself with the groomers, whether it be at a established place like a PetSmart or one of those types of places, or a smaller shop, they need to have that familiarity of going into that place. They also need to have the familiarity of a particular groomer. So find one that you like and continue to use that same person so that person can develop a relationship with your pet. And it'll make it a lot easier for your pet to go to these visits because they'll know what to expect. There's a couple things that she recommended you do at home to help prepare your pet for their grooming visit. And one of them is to play with their feet. You can play with the pads of their feet, you can play with the tops along their nails, but that they get used to somebody touching their feet is really helpful. Another thing you can do is take an electric toothbrush and put the back side, the non-brushy side of it, turn it on, and put that on the animal here or there to imitate what the clippers will feel like, the vibrations from the clippers. Another thing you can do is take a metal spoon and just touch the spoon to the face, and that will imitate scissors. And you can use any regular brush or comb and brush various parts of the pet's body so they get accustomed to feeling those areas being touched and brushed. Along with all of that, you need to have a lot of treats and praise, and they will test you. They will try very hard to get you to stop doing it if they're very, if they're very set against it. But if you just be calm and firm and don't give in and stop, they will eventually get used to that, and it will make their trips to the groomer so much easier. Okay, now Citrus Fresh is a wonderful, wonderful citrus blend. It's got, what is it here? One, two, three, four, five different citruses and some spearmint. So it's just got a hint of mint in it. It is very relaxing and calming, and it smells just wonderful. It really does. This is something that can definitely help with pet odors if you have that lingering around the house or maybe around the litter box. You can also create a spray and use it on your furniture. If you notice that a pet is avoiding the Citrus Fresh spray, you can either use that to your advantage. So if you don't want them in a particular area of the house or on the sofa or whatever, then you can spray or diffuse that in an area to keep the pet away. Otherwise, if that's not the case and it's the area where you want to welcome them and they just don't like the scent, there's plenty other options, purification, lavender, plenty other options out there that you could use instead of the Citrus Fresh. If you wanted to make the room freshening spray, you would just take 20 drops and add it to a 4-ounce bottle of distilled water and just shake that and spray it as you need it. All of these oils here, as you can see in this picture, they bring peace and happiness and calming, and they're balancing and they are uplifting. So they're great oils to be able to diffuse not only for you, but also for your pets. And it's just a wonderful thing to have that going on in the house rather than the plugins that are at the store that cause so much neurotoxic issues to the brain. And to think that our little pets sometimes are at the house all day having to smell that. So the animal sense line that Young Living has is pretty good. I did on my website. My niece took all of the essential oils and the shampoo, the ointment, and the dental pet chews for dogs. And she has done a review on each of them and how her pets, she has 5 dogs, and she did a review on each of them and how her dogs responded to each of those. So the website is on this business page. It is joingeo.com. It's joingeo.com. And you can go there to look at the reviews. Again, like I said, shampoo, cat treats, dog chews, and all of these essential oils. All of the oils that are here are blends, so that means they're already diluted. Although, again, you have to take into consideration the sensitivity of your pet, and you may want to start out diluting them even further when you first use them. I do have a listing as far as this class being an in-person class. I have handouts to provide to people. So what I'll do when I post this is I will have those handouts on my business page so that you can print that out and either follow along with me as I'm talking to fill out your little worksheet. And then also there's another page that has some information about the essential oils that we as grown-ups use, as adults use, humans, I guess I should say, as humans use, and how they can be used for your pet, as well as the animal sense line and what's in them and how to use them as well. So I'll make sure that I post that information on the page too. As far as supplements are for your pet, I wanted to state up front that while these products are not labeled as ingestible for animals, I know many members that have used these to support their pets' overall health. And here are just some of the popular ones that I'm going to list. It's about 4 of them that I know members have used. It's also been endorsed. There is a panel of veterinarians on the Young Living executive branch, and they have endorsed all of these particular supplements to be used for pets. So the Ninja is the first one, the Ninja Red, which is pictured here. It is a 25% Ninja wolfberry puree, and it is definitely a wellness supporting superfruit. Incredibly high antioxidant rating. And you know that antioxidants, the more we have of those in our body, the more it makes it our body's an unfriendly environment for free radicals. And I'm not going to go into free radicals right now. You can Google that if you're not sure you don't understand what that means. This particular supplement helps support normal blood sugar levels, provides support for normal eye health and cellular function and energy levels. It also will lend overall support so that your pet can be its best self, right? And that's what we want for our pets. If they don't like the taste of it, like the sweet little cat is drinking it straight from the bowl, you can just place a few drops on its food. There's different ratios listed as far as cats and dogs and horses, but I will just briefly tell you those. You may need to jot them down if you don't want to come back and look through the video. But for cats, it would be anywhere from a half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon spread throughout the day. For dogs, it is a half to 1 ounce for large dogs per day. For horses, it's a 1 ounce to 3 ounces per day. And again, remember that all of these amounts are dependent upon the health of the animal. So if your animal is struggling with some chronic issues, you may have to raise up the dose, it's not really a dose, raise up the serving for the animal, depending on if they're struggling with any kind of chronic conditions. And some other wonderful supplements, one of them is sulfurzyme capsules. Now, Young Living sells the powder too, but we're talking specifically about the capsules here. The powders have added sweeteners to them, and we don't need that for the pets. So for sulfurzyme, it helps to maintain the structure of proteins. It protects cells and the cell membranes. It replenishes the connections between cells, and it preserves the molecular framework of the connective tissue. And it is just wonderful for inflammation. For cats, you would take 1/4 to 1 capsule per day. A small dog is 1 to 1.5 capsules per day. A medium dog, 1 to 2 capsules per day. Large dog, 2 to 4 capsules. And for horses, a heaping tablespoon twice a day. Now, Omega Gies, the other item that's pictured here is omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D3, CoQ10. These supplements, along with essential oil blend that's combined in there, they support normal brain, eye, joint health. And cats are to take 1 capsule per day. Medium dogs, 1 to 2 capsules per day. Large dogs, 2 to 4 capsules per day. And I don't have any information about horses, so I can give you information about that. And the other supplement here is Agile Ease. Now, I know that when my dog was almost 17, when we had to put him down, he was an old dog and he liked to be active, but he couldn't. This supplement is really good for pets that may experience a natural acute inflammation in response to their joints after exercise. And so Agile Ease is a joint health supplement, and it's perfectly it's perfect for not only you, the human, but also the pet as well. If you're looking to gain better mobility and flexibility and do something to reduce some of that inflammation. Now, for a medium to large dog would be 1 capsule a day, a small canine, a half a capsule. Cats would be 1/4 of a capsule. And on this one, again, I don't have any information about horses. So you'll have to look that up. There was no data available for me about horses on this particular supplement. So, okay. So this is probably a good time to talk a little bit about dog food, because we're looking into things to put into our pets' bodies that are going to promote a lot of wellness. And dog food is one of those where you can go down the aisle of the grocery store and you're looking at a whole aisle of dog food and going, I have no idea. I have no idea what to get. So there are really good brands out there, and there's also good brands or better brands for specific types of dogs and specific ages of dogs. The best place to look is on a website called dogfoodadvisor.com. And there's also one for cats that's called bestcatfoodadvisor.net. And the dog website, they were pretty positive about their website. So I wanted to read this to you. It says, we know who actually makes each dog food, the company's recall history and safety practices. We know how to read labels and correctly interpret the nutritional content. We also know how to find out where the ingredients come from, which additives are safe, and which ones are toxic, plus dozens of other important facts and statistics about every product. We've also uncovered, investigated, and announced some 129 dog food and dog treat recall events. Every known recall that's occurred within the United States and Canada dating back to 2009. So they are saying they know their stuff. So again, my niece Amber, just so you know, she feeds her dogs a brand called Stella and Chewy's Raw Coated Kibble. And on this particular website, they gave that a 5-star and enthusiastically recommended it. So the cat food website I mentioned, bestcatfoodadvisor.net, is very similar in its offerings as far as being very knowledgeable about each of the products and what they're good for and breaking that down. A lot of people, though, when they see the price of better quality food, it kind of shocks them. But what they might not realize is that sometimes feeding those higher quality foods to your animal, you'll see that they don't need as much because the quality is better and it fills them up faster and they don't need as much. So that can offset the price for you too. Also, eating higher quality food can result in lower vet bills. And I'm a big proponent of well care is cheaper than sick care, because it is. We want to take a more proactive stance rather than a reactive stance. Okay, oral care. Who's been slobbered on and licked by a stinky dog? I know there's many times I'm wondering, I don't know what you ate, but you need to get away from me. So hopefully we can take care of that with some Thieves toothpaste and mouthwash. So I'll tell you how to do that. So there is one of the Thieves toothpastes that is great for pets, which is the Dentarome Plus. There are 2 other toothpastes that Young Living has that are the Dentarome Ultra and the Thieves Aroma Bright toothpaste. They both contain xylitol, so that can be toxic to pets. So the only one that's good for them in the Young Living line is the Dentarome Plus. We know that effective brushing unbinds that bacteria-laden plaque, and rinsing afterwards is a key step to try to get that bacteria out of the mouth. But dogs don't know how to swish and spit. But the next best thing you can do is just lead them over to take some water in and swish that away. One good thing about the Thieves toothpaste is that it's not harmful if swallowed. So you can brush your dog's teeth with it and then have them go take a drink, and it won't be harmful for them to swallow what's left over in their mouth. So this oral care spritz is kind of nice. So you take the Thieves mouthwash and add it to a 4-ounce bottle and fill it with water. And then you would just spray it in your pet's mouth once a day. Again, we want to make sure that they like Thieves, so you'll have to probably set the mouthwash down there and make sure that they're okay with that before you do it. These products, again, are not labeled for animal use, but I've worked with many members that have used them on their pets, and a lot of them do like the Thieves blend. Okay, So let's talk about essential rewards, because for those of you that are already Young Living members, now that you have some ideas of all of these different products that you can use for both yourself and for your pets, this is a great way for you um, to uh, I want to say chunk out, but to separate out your orders so that you can take advantage of the Essential Rewards program and and have some orders that you can place consistently month after month. Um, this is an optional program for you Young Living members. It's really the best way for you to be able to save money while you replace these toxic products in your home, and then you can reorder things as you need. And that's the big thing that I always tell people with Essential Rewards. You are taking baby steps. We can't just go in and just wipe everything clean and try to do it all at once. It's great if you're going to start incorporating some more healthier things into not only your lifestyle, but your pet's lifestyle. And then the Essential Rewards opportunity is good because then you can just place one order a month and get some specific things and just take it in baby steps. Um, and what's nice about it is, in saying that, is that you can customize your little wellness box every single month. And you can also change the date that the order processes each month. So if it's at the beginning one month and you need it to be towards the end of the next month, that's fine. You can change it there too. And with every Essential Rewards order, you get a percentage back in points that you can use on future products and free gifts when you are loyal to that particular rewards program. After 3, 6, 9, 12 months, they give you a free oil for your loyalty. Now, some red dot place that I won't mention gives you 5% back. Young Living starts out at 10%, and you accumulate 10% back on your purchase for the first 3 months, 20% back, 20% back on your purchase from month 4 to month 24. And then after that, you start getting 25% back in points. So you can buy a lot of extra dental chews, right? And extra bottles of Ninja with that. So, anyway, here's some options here just to give you an idea. We talked about the Ninja supplement. That's good for month 1. And the month 2, the products from the Thieves line is a really good option because, you know, while you're thinking about all these other natural things that you're going to be doing for your pet, think about the floor that they're laying on. What have you scrubbed that floor with? Or when they go and they're thirsty and they drink out of the toilet, eek, you know, with the Lysol or whatever you use in there that has bleach in it. If you use products that are plant-based, then your pet can lay on the floor without getting toxins on its skin. Your pet could, if they have to accidentally drink out of the toilet, they're going to have something in there that's not as toxic as bleach that could really do some harm to their bodies. Plus, another thing too, with the essential oils that you use in the house and you're diffusing with them, then that way they don't have to stay in the house all day and smell those plugins and cause some headaches, respiratory issues, and things like that. So this is a win-win situation. And if you're not yet a member, you can become one. This would be the premium starter kit here, and it has everything that's here comes in the kit. So you get 11 oils, a diffuser of your choice. This desert mist diffuser is really cool. You get some Ninja packet samples, also the Thieves household cleaner. You get samples of that as well. Some little mini bottles that you can use however you'd like. And this all is for $160. And when you get started with this premium starter kit, you automatically get a membership with membership pricing. So 24% off of anything you order. This is a lifetime membership. It's not something that you have to, it's not like a Costco where you have to pay to stay in the program and not get anything in return. So every oil that's in your kit can also be used by your pet, which is a really cool thing. So I wrote down some of them because we're not going to have time to go through all of these oils in great length, but these are how it can be used for both you and your pet. So we have Copaiba, which allows greater mobility and flexibility through the reduction of inflammation. I know that family members put like a drop of copaiba in their dog's water each day to help with inflammation. Frankincense maintains healthy skin and coat, and it's also very grounding. Lavender is relaxing. It's also good for skin support. Peppermint is great for digestion and for cooling off. You can make a cooling spray with peppermint. Just don't want to get it close to the dog's or the pet's face. Digize is also good for digestion. Panaway is great for overworked muscles from work or from playing in the yard. Citrus Fresh is just a stink be gone. Stress Away is for stress and any anxiety. Thieves is great for immune support for pets when it's diffused. And lemon is a very good for immune support as well. It's very high in antioxidants. And then Raven is good for the skin, but it's also good for respiratory issues. I don't know too much about dogs' respiratory issues, if that is a struggle for some people, but it's definitely a good one for the humans so that they can feel good to take their dogs for walks. So anyway, with this kit, along with this kit comes some support from both My Oily Community. We would plug you into a Facebook page, and that is it's a closed page. We would plug you into that where you can get a lot of different education. We have classes in there. We have videos that we have stored in a section. So if you want to look at a particular topic, you can watch videos on that. If you have a question about a wellness issue, you can look in the search bar and find out who has asked that question before and find out what oils they may have used. And it's just a wonderful community of people trying to help each other through natural wellness. We've seen the benefits ourselves and how much of a difference it's made in our life, and it's so fun to welcome new people in there and help them too. Plus, you'll get me as your personal educator, your personal, I will help you with any type of wellness plan you'd like to put together. That's one of the things that I love to do, is to find the puzzle pieces so that you can have a life of wellness, purpose, and abundance. So I think that's everything that I want to talk about. Oh, I may not have mentioned the price of the kit. The kit is $160, and it is normally $330, I believe, $350 on retail price. So this was a wholesale pricing, and you do not have to make another purchase again. You buy the kit, and if that's all you want to buy, you're not obligated to buy anything else. But believe me, when you start using the oils and you see them work, you will want to keep ordering. So I'm so glad you could join me tonight. And listen, feel free to make some comments. I will be more than happy to get back with you and respond. And again, like I said earlier, I will post some of the worksheets and the other handout that I was giving out tonight. And you can look at those for some more information on the Animal Sense line. Okay, thanks guys.